it is interesting when you see people read novels, watch movies, how you can have almost a different description of the movie. Sometimes someone can watch that movie, read that novel, and describe it in its very basic, simplest forms, and they enjoyed it at that level. Another person will see it at a second level, and others will see some of the core underlying elements at a much more complex level. I call this 3 levels of approximation, and this is something we need to work on in the novel so that it can be enjoyed at those levels based on your audience. What depth do they want to see? Have you got those layers in there? I'm going to draw on Rene Descartes. He was born in Brittany, in France, in 1596. At the age of 8, he had surpassed most of his teachers at school and was sent to a Jesuit college in La Flèche, one of the best, by the way, in Europe. It was here that his genius in mathematics became apparent. And because he had an extremely delicate health, he was allowed to stay in bed until midday, a practice that he maintained all of his life. In 1616, he had an urge to see the world, and so he joined the army. And his mathematical genius was taken full advantage of with military engineering. He met the Dutch philosopher Isaac Beeckman, who convinced him then to leave the army and, in his words, turn his mind back to science and more worthier occupations. After leaving the army, Descartes traveled looking for purpose, and he found it November the 10th, 1619. He was in Neuburg in Germany. It was on the eve of St. Martin's. In a freezing blizzard, he had locked himself up, and he retired early that evening and described an extremely vivid dream that clarified his purpose and showed him that physics and all science could be reduced to geometry and were therefore all interconnected like a chain. Descartes devised a 4-step method for breaking down any problem. Step 1, never accept anything as true unless it is clear and distinct enough to exclude all doubt from your mind. This is an important step for us. We are trying to capture something. We have an internal editor that tells us when we have done it, and also tells us, nags us, that we have not. We must listen to that editor and make sure that step 1 is cleared before we pass on to step 2. Step 2, divide the problem into as many parts as necessary to reach a solution. Step 3, start with the simplest things and move step by step towards the complex. These 2 steps, 2 and 3, I draw on them a lot because breaking a problem down into many small pieces and then being able to focus on one piece at a time does let you move through the tasks. Starting with the simple and going to the complex is vital. As you build more and more parts to the novel, the other parts will become clearer. Clarity, as you step forward, will help you with what appeared to be complex pieces, but now seem more simple as you proceed on. The last step in Descartes' method. Review the solution so completely and generally that you are sure nothing was omitted. The editor will make you fully aware that you have not reviewed it, that there have been things omitted, and that you have not captured it. Descartes' fame was so renowned that he was asked in 1649 to tutor Queen Christina of Sweden. The Queen demanded that her lessons begin at 5 o'clock in the morning, which conflicted with Descartes' lifetime practice of remaining in bed until midday. After several unsuccessful attempts to change her mind, and with pressure applied from the French ambassador, Descartes agreed to the early morning lessons. A short time later, on his way to the palace, one cold winter morning, he caught a severe cold and died within 2 weeks. We are making a story with characters and plot that is highly accessible, but accessible on different levels based on readers that may just want to understand it at a simpler level or at a medium level of complexity or at a higher level of complexity. We must make sure that the novel rings true no matter what level of approximation we are aiming at and for. Low complexity involves straightforward recall of facts and procedures and gives you a very matter-of-fact view of characters and plot. Medium complexity will require some analysis of the elements and to gain a deeper understanding of the concepts. And high complexity demands critical thinking, evaluation, and an ability to make connections between different concepts and to almost see the group dynamics and the interactions thereof. So the depth in a story refers to the richness and complexity and the layers of meaning beyond the surface narrative. And this is only achieved by exploring your characters and your plot and your themes and your subtext to different levels of approximation. So if we do this, we will create an engaging, thought-provoking experience for the reader. So we are looking at breaking our novel down using Descartes' method. In addition to breaking it down vertically, we are also breaking it down horizontally into 3 levels of complexity. This will require you to work, rework, and rework the problem. Come in from as many different angles as you can and keep breaking it down using Descartes' method and keep peeling it away to expose these 3 layers of complexity. I do hope this video has been helpful. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again on the next one.